Number 9 here, we're being asked to find the main idea of the text. We'll highlight that in blue. We're going to read in full, and then we're going to highlight whatever the big picture stuff is, and then we'll cross-check our answer choices about what we've highlighted as the big picture. So from the top, studies of ocean wave breaking have predominantly focused on traveling waves, those propagating along the horizontal plane. So Mark McAllister et al. Utilized a circular wave tank to produce and study spike waves, axisymmetric standing waves that can erupt vertically when traveling waves propagating in opposing directions intersect. Traveling waves break when wave steepness, height to length ratio passes a critical threshold. Breaking thus constrains wave height. McAllister et al. Found that spike waves can exceed that constraint as other factors than just steepness, e.g. jet stability and cavity shape, mediate spike wave breaking. So it's all about this contrast between traveling waves and spike waves. So I can highlight in 2 different colors the information that's most important about traveling waves and the information that's most important about spike waves to track all the information. So we know that it's been focused so far, the studies of ocean wave breaking, on traveling waves. We'll highlight that in yellow. But then we learned that Mark McAllister, they studied spike waves. And we're going to highlight that in blue. We learned that the traveling waves are focused on this critical threshold. But then the spike waves can exceed that because it's not just about steepness. It's also about jet stability and cavity shape for the spike waves. So we've got this highlighted in different colors so we can track the contrast. So starting with choice A, previous studies have suggested that steepness mediates breaking in traveling waves. But the study by McAllister et al. Shows that jet stability and cavity shape may also influence breaking in such waves. No, it's the other waves. It's the spike waves. So this is backwards for choice A in the second part. Wrong kind of wave. Goodbye to A. Then choice B, the process of breaking limits the height of traveling waves. But the study by McAllister et al. Suggests that spike waves can exceed those limits if their height to length ratio reaches a critical threshold. Again, that's the wrong kind of wave. So goodbye to choice B because it's the traveling waves that have to pass the critical threshold. Then choice C, McAllister et al. Suggests that spike waves can form when traveling waves propagating in opposing directions intersect, and that spike waves tend to be higher than traveling waves. Well, not that they tend to be higher, but that they can be higher. So C is going to be extreme. And then choice D, the study by McAllister et al. Suggests that when traveling waves intersect in specific ways, meaning that they end up getting those spike waves, as illustrated in this blue highlight up there, the resulting wave may be higher than would be expected. Absolutely matches all of our detail. Highlight intentionally to encourage focus and attention to detail, but correct answer for number 9 is D.